Okay, I want to get this out of the way here now. Yes, congratulations to the Nationals on winning Game 6. We're going to Game 7. And for the first time, and I'm not being dishonest. I'm not trying to pull your leg. I'm not saying I'm the angriest fan in the world, but for the first time in the history of professional sports, I honest to God wish it didn't happen. I didn't mean I wish the Nationals didn't win Game 6. I wish we didn't have a Game 7. I'll talk about the game very briefly, and then I'm going to get to my points about how this World Series has probably been the most embarrassing, long, drawn out series in pro sports championship history. And yes, again, Justin Verlander does not get a win in the World Series. Okay, fine, whatever. I want to talk about, however, two different moments here. The first one was the two solo home runs by Rondon and Soto, I believe. Was it? It was Ethan and Soto. Anyway, point being, that home run Soto hit is probably somewhere in Pearland right now. Honest to goodness, dang, bravo, 3-2 at that point. And Strasburg really had it on lockdown. He's right now narrowly MVP. Remember, not quite as sharp in the early innings of game 2. Same thing here, not quite as sharp, but his team rallied around him more than anything. So I applaud that aspect, but oh gosh, I want to say something here. This is why people are finding this series pretty much borderline unwatchable. Top of the 7th, 1 on, no out. This was before the Anthony Rondon 2-run shot, pretty much sinking the Astros after that. 7-2 was the final score. I don't even want to talk about the game. I want to talk about this specific moment and why this series has been so god-awful. I believe just before that, I believe Evan Turner was trying to run down the first base line, and then a ball was thrown to Yuli Gurriel on the inside part of the infield, and it was called runner's interference. Now, allow me to make sure we understand what I'm about to say. I'm not doing this as an Astros fan. I'm actually looking at something that happened before. That was the right call. When you interfere with the play being made, I agree. That was the right call to make, and it should have been out. Why do I say this? I can't remember what year it was, but there was a World Series between the Cardinals and the Red Sox, I believe. It happened at the bottom of the 9th for the Cardinals, and they had a pretty good near home run that was in the outfield. And then I believe that as the runner was coming around to get from third to home, I think it was a sac fly or something like that. The third baseman at that point kind of lifts himself kind of half, kind of does a push up, and impedes the runner's path somewhere on the third from third to home, and he was called safe on interference by the third baseman. Well, if I'm going to give the call to that aspect, I'm going to give the call to this one. And I gotta be honest with you. This is why we can't stand this World Series. As much as I'm a fan of the Astros, I'm sure the Nationals have their griefs too. But this wasn't because of what the end result ended up being. It should have been an out, no question, because I'm gonna give the same courtesy to the base runner as I would the fielder, and vice versa. This had to be reviewed, and I can't understand why this takes 5 minutes to review. This should have been over and done with like that. Should be over. Yes, I get there was a question about was he on the base paths or not. Who cares? When you interfere with the play, you're out or you go to the base you were supposed to be if you didn't interfere with it. We've seen that kind of happened with a catcher's interference that wasn't called. Okay, fine, whatever. That's an out. Whether someone should be on first or second, or it really didn't matter anyway. Anthony Rondon hit that 2-run home run, so it doesn't really matter. But why is this taking so long to make that kind of play? I don't even want to talk about the game. I don't want to talk about Game 7 with Greinke and Scherzer now. I don't even want to go there because of what happened tonight and how much of a drag this series has come. And I'm not alone in this. Several people are just tired of the length of this. But this is the first time I felt like they have tried to prolong a game for no reason other than annoy the people watching at home. And I'm sorry I'm going to have to say this. This is the first time in my entire life I've ever said, if you're not a Nationals fan or an Astros fan, don't get excited for Game 7. It's going to take until 5 in the morning to finish, if it doesn't even go extra innings. I admit the winner of that game is going to be happy above all else. Okay, I applaud whoever wins that game is going to be excited. But everyone watching tomorrow night, do something else, for God's sake. Have Halloween happen early for all I care, because that's going to be the most annoying, long, drawn-out game of your lives. And it's not going to be because of the tactics. It's going to be because baseball wants it that way. Baseball wants more people in the advertisements. Baseball wants you to feel like something's happening when really it isn't. This is the first time I've ever said this. I'm not excited for a Game 7. Yes, I would be excited as a Nationals, or in my case, Astros fan. Whoever wins, congratulations. But as a casual watcher, this is going to be one of the most boring Game 7s ever. In fact, let's be even more honest. Where's the drama been? On any one game, there has been zero drama. Game 1 was close. That was it. There was no drama in Game 1. 5-4, could have gone either way. That was the only game in this series that's really felt like it could have gone either way. Game 2, over in the 7th. Game 3, Robinson Chirinos solo home run ended that threat. Game 4, it was over by the end of the first inning. It just took an Alex Bregman grand slam to break the backs of the Nationals. Game 5, almost the same thing, only this time was a 2-run home run by George Springer. Game 6, Anthony Rondon, Crawford boxes. And even then, it felt like it was just everyone's trying to fight something other than baseball. It felt like that one moment in the top of the 7th, before that home run, everyone wanted to complain about something, whether it be the umpires, whether it be the review, whether it be the media coverage, whether it be commercials. It felt like at that point, we had a justification to whine about it, because baseball doesn't give a damn right now. Let's be honest. They don't care if you watch this game at midnight. They'll let it go on until freaking 5 in the morning for 9 innings. That's the way they feel like this World Series should be. And you know what? I'm sick of it. At least the NFL had the sense to move its kickoff of the Super Bowl sometime before 8 Eastern. I don't get this in hockey, even in overtime games. I don't remember the Stanley Cup taking longer than maybe 10:30 Central. Trophy presentation and all for the St. Louis Blues. Not a single NBA Finals game took this long. And yes, I admit on a game that's not based on time, it can go for an indefinite amount of periods, but this is ridiculous for 9 God-given innings. Who wants to sit through this? You want to know why ratings are down? Talk to the commissioner of baseball, because honestly, I don't care who wins Game 7. This is the worst postseason series ever to go 7 games, and that's not hyperbole. If you're a fan of either team, you'll be invested like I am. If not, just go do something else. Please, I implore you, don't give baseball the courtesy of having 10 million people watching tomorrow night. Honestly. I'm just waiting for a moment here. Besides, yeah, Astros win Game 7 now. I mean, I'm waiting for something to happen in this series besides bad umpires, boobs flashing, and an amazing guy who holds 2 Bud Lights in his hand gets a free ticket to Game 6. Maybe even Game 7 now. You know what? That's the best part about this series. It's an embarrassment to the Major League Baseball Association. It's just how? How is that the best moment? I admit it was a good job by that young man, but what am I going to talk about? I'd love to talk about the game and how the Nationals and Astros both are playing for a Game 7 World Championship tomorrow night. I'd love to talk about how Justin Verlander is 0-6 in postseason World Series appearances. I'd love to talk about how Anthony Rondon finally found his bat tonight. I'd love to talk about how Matt Scherzer is miraculously healed and Zach Greinke can actually still win this series for the Astros. I don't feel like it. Do you understand how bad that is for an Astros fan? I don't feel like talking about Game 7. And I'm very sorry to all of you out there who are watching this video that you're going to have to watch that crap. I'm going to call it how it is. Something better happen in Game 7 because the other 6 games, worthless. Completely zero energy outside of the 2 teams playing. I will give some respect where it's due. The Nationals are back in this series again. I told you they could do it. I mean, the Astros got stifled by a good pitcher again. If Scherzer goes Game 7, which it looks like he will now all of a sudden, I'm healed now. I couldn't get dressed on Sunday. Oh, I feel much better now to a cortisone shot. I think, honest to goodness, that if that was a tactic and he feels great now, he shouldn't be pitching, but that's beside the point. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that. They should have done that at baseball. But you know what? Game 7 just feels like no matter who wins is going to have an asterisk over it. This team only won because baseball decided to finally end the series, unfortunately, as the worst 7-game French series you've ever seen. Even worse, seen some bad Game 7s. Some really horrible Game 7s in my life. Baseball is going to just ruin us to watch this terrible fest tomorrow night. I think the worst ever winner take all, no matter what was when the Ravens beat the Giants in the Super Bowl. To me, that's the bottom of the barrel. This could rank down there as well, no matter who wins. If the Astros win, I will be excited, yes. But at this point, I don't think the rest of the world cares. But I will care about other things. Again, sports isn't my forte. Heck, I've gone long ranting about how bad it was, how the umpires were just completely stupid, how this feels like it was just baseball wanting to buy products. Bud Light definitely got a boost. I've gotten longer on this than I have on some of my notices about conventions. I don't usually do sports either. This is a sad day for baseball. But I will make sure there are good, happy things coming when you like, share, and subscribe this video. Also, donate to my PayPal at plasmoyer2002@gmail.com. Regardless, win or lose, I will see you all tomorrow for Game 7 reaction. Either I'll be screaming out to the top of my lungs that we've won the World Series, or I'll be angry because the Nationals did their job, and I'll applaud them. In either case, once again, later.